Many others, I'm happy to commend it to the House, sir.
I call Barbara Stewart.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I stand on behalf of New Zealand First to support the second reading of the Health and Safety Pike River Implementation Bill. We welcome the changes that this will make to our mining sector. We know that it is the start of change, and we look forward to further change throughout. Health and safety in the workplace is absolutely paramount. Every worker has the right to return home at the end of their working day and to return home unharmed. We firmly believe that. In New Zealand First, we agreed, like every other party in the House, with much of the Royal Commission report on the Pike River tragedy, and we're happy to now see that many of the recommendations have been heard and are to be implemented. We must commend the Select Committee for the work that they have done on this bill. We welcome the changes that have been suggested, and we look forward to the committee stage where the Minister has indicated that there will be further changes, and Labor have also indicated that they have got some changes suggested. So we will look forward to reading those and considering those. However, as I said in my first reading speech on this bill, we are very sad that it took such a devastating tragedy and 29 deaths to make the necessary changes to improve the health and safety regulations in the mining sector. We extend our thoughts and our sympathies again to the Pike River tragedy, the friends and families of those involved in the Pike River tragedy, and we look forward to this legislation which will help to make improvements to minimise the occurrence of any such tragedy in the future. Of course, we realise that any bill can never ever eliminate a tragedy of this nature ever occurring again, but the focus on health and safety will be increased, and this will help what is currently happening. The current position is totally unacceptable. We need to give workers a greater sense of safety in their own workplaces. The WorkSafe New Zealand agency that's going to be established under this bill is a good step forward. We like how it has been absolutely listed here in this particular bill, with how the board is to be made up, 5 members and no more than 9, and the list of the criteria that the members of the board must have been clearly outlined in the legislation. We do need to ensure that these people on the board are not party political, and that it does follow these guidelines so that whenever there is a change of government, there's not a total change of the WorkSafe board. So we were happy with that. We did have some concerns about the agency, but we are pleased that the recommendations have been clearly set out. And we particularly support the recommendation to change the wording around WorkSafe's main objectives. That WorkSafe New Zealand's main objective is to promote and contribute to securing the health and safety of workers and workplaces. We believe that this is a step forward to what we've had in the past. This means that this agency will take a stronger role in protecting the safety of workers, and that's absolutely essential. A sole government agency of this nature ought to have centralised responsibility for ensuring responsible health and safety practices are undertaken, and these amendments actually underline that necessity. The bill also provides amendments to the Health and Safety Act of 1992. The change will see clear new mining regulations, such as processes for better managing hazards, increasing the minimum standards, requirements for health and safety standards, and strengthened training and competency requirements. And I'm very passionate about that latter part of it. The Royal Commission's focus on this was for principally underground mines. However, the changes in this bill will make it focus more on all of the mine operations due to the particular hazards that they present. The Royal Commission saw a number of contributing factors to the Pike River mine disaster, and we've heard how this was a coming together of many different factors that resulted in this disaster. The amendments of the committee have reduced the coverage of Part 2 of the bill. In line with the suggestion from the Royal Commission, this should be expanded rather than narrowed. And we're also aware that unions have voiced their concerns around this issue. In New Zealand First, we've always supported an increase in health and safety regulations for our workers, including broad coverage. Having read through the Royal Commission report, New Zealand First is inclined to agree that there were quite a number of safety issues that went unaddressed. Failures across a number of government departments and sections of Pike River management contributed to this tragedy. To this end, New Zealand First believes that it would be counterproductive to identify any factor which resulted in the Pike River tragedy. We've welcomed the Royal Commission's findings and now this bill, and the Transport and Industrial Relations Committee amendments, which on the whole greatly improve the bill. Again, New Zealand First extends our utmost sympathies to the family and friends of the deceased. We will be supporting this bill to make a much-needed improvement to the mining sector, and we believe that it is a great step forward towards protecting the health and safety of our workers here in New Zealand.
I call Chris Ockenvole.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's a great honour to speak on the